Welcome to Box Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the movie The Lair, released in the year 2022. The movie begins and we see two fighter pilots flying their jets. One of them is a female pilot named Sinclair. As they are flying over some unknown area of Afghanistan, they're attacked by terrorists who shoot missiles towards their jet. As the missile hits the jet, it goes out of control and is about to crash. The pilots ejected from the jet to land safely. We see that the terrorists are tracking where they're landing. As the pilots land, they're attacked by the terrorists. Sinclair is a very skilled soldier as well, so she uses her gun and kills the terrorists. Then she gets a hold of one of the guns from the terrorists. She uses a walkie-talkie to communicate with her base. But then we see that even more terrorists appear on the site. As she sees so many terrorists coming towards her, she runs towards an old bunker near her. The bunker is locked with big chains, which makes it impossible for her to get inside. Now she has no other option than to fight with the terrorists, so she takes cover behind some metallic object. She starts to fire toward the terrorist, and this shows that she's not only physically skilled, but she has a strong mentality. She has decided to fight the enemy in their territory alone. She gives them a tough time, and then one of the terrorists brings a rocket launcher. He fires a rocket towards her, which she barely misses. The rocket missed Sinclair, but it hit the bunker's door, which was locked so well. The bunker's door opens slightly. Seeing this opportunity, Sinclair gets in the bunker and drops her AK-47 outside. A terrorist tries to get in behind her, but she uses a pistol to shoot him and kill him. She decides to move ahead inside the bunker and then find some stairs ahead of her. She has no other option to avoid the enemy but to go ahead. She starts to climb down the stairs. As she gets down, some of the terrorists also get inside the bunker. As Sinclair looks around the bunker, it looks like some kind of a lab where experiments had been done. As she goes deeper and deeper inside the bunker, it turns out to be a very creepy place. She finds a decomposing dead body. The body is left sitting on a chair next to a table, and next to that body there are some papers on the table. She searches the dead body and finds a small camera in its pocket. She knows that the paper on the table must be important, so she starts taking pictures of the paper using the small camera. The terrorist is also moving behind her in the bunker, and as they get closer to Sinclair, she starts to move further inside the bunker. The terrorist is also very scared to see this creepy bunker. One of them manages to put the lights back on, and they see numerous containers there. These containers contain bodies that are similar to the human body. As one of the terrorists gets near Sinclair, she attacks him and takes his gun from him. She then starts shooting towards the terrorists. They shoot back, and accidentally the glass door of one of the containers breaks, which makes the body inside it fall out with all the liquid used to preserve it. To avoid being detected, Sinclair gets into a small passage and starts to crawl in it. As the terrorists look for Sinclair, the body which came out of the container gets up behind the terrorist. We can see that this is not a human, it is a monster. The monster attacks one of the terrorists and kills him. Then he starts to eat him. Sinclair is stopped by a terrorist, and as he points his gun towards her, he hears one of his companions telling him that he has seen the devil. As the terrorist is distracted, Sinclair takes advantage of the situation and kills him. She sees some stairs and starts to climb them. She gets up the stairs and one of the terrorists grabs her foot. As she looks back toward him, she sees that the monster grabs him and drags him back down. This really scares her, and as she tries to get out of the bunker, the monster tries to attack her. She manages to get out of the bunker with just a wound on her belly. She then closes the bunker door again so that the monster can not get out of there. A terrorist named Kabir has also witnessed the monster, and he is also scared. After this, Kabir runs away, leaving Sinclair alone there. The officers from another unit come and find Sinclair. They had been looking for her after the crash. They take her back to their camp, where she meets Sergeant Hook and Major Finch. She tries to tell them about the bunker and the monster she saw inside, but no one takes her seriously. She still had the small camera with her, which is also taken away from her. As no one is taking her seriously, she gets really pissed. Sinclair gets into an argument with an officer named Jade, and as they're about to fight with each other, Hook comes and stops them from fighting. He then tells Sinclair about everyone in the camp and how they usually behave. He then takes her to the only doctor in the camp, Wilkes, to get her wounds treated. We see that Kabir is also there, as he was captured by some of the soldiers when he was running away. He has a drip attached to him. Wilkes examines the wounds and tells Sinclair that he can clearly see that this wound did not come into being by a gunshot. Sinclair then starts to talk about the bunker. She says maybe it was a Russian bunker and it was locked with huge chains. As she keeps on talking about the bunker, Kabir also starts to talk. He tells them that she was telling the truth, and he had also seen that monster. After listening to Sinclair and Kabir, Hook decides to investigate this bunker himself. At night, back at the container, we see that the monster is still inside the bunker. It manages to break the other containers, and all the monsters come to life. They all gather around the bunker's door and start to push it open. Despite all the huge chains on the door of the bunker, the monsters are able to open the bunker's door. In the camp, the security is already alert because of the terrorists. Wilkes and Sinclair start to interrogate Kabir to find out whatever they can about the bunker. Gunshots are heard being fired as the monsters have started to enter the camp. The monsters are able to kill many of the soldiers. One of the monsters manages to get into Major Finch's tent. Finch picks up a shotgun and starts to shoot the monster. Wilkes grabs his gear, and as he's about to head out, Sinclair asks him for a weapon so that she can fight with them against the monsters. He refuses to give her a weapon and tells her to keep an eye on Kabir. As he leaves, Kabir approaches Sinclair and gives her a gun. The soldier is fighting the monsters very bravely. Finch is seen beating the monster with a baseball bat. He's gotten wounded, but is still fighting the monster. The monster is very powerful and is about to kill Finch when Dave and Hook then get into Finch's tent and help him kill the monster. Many of the soldiers died as the monsters had super strength, and it's very hard to kill them. The remaining soldiers gather around a container and decide to defend their position. Sinclair also attacks a monster and she's able to kill it. The monster's body is really hard, which makes it difficult for the bullets to penetrate. No matter how many bullets they shoot at them, it has very little effect on them. Their heads are not as strong as their body, so they must attack their head to kill them. The monsters were also very fast, so shooting their head was not easy. The remaining soldiers close themselves inside a container and decide to wait until the morning and see what happens. At this time, Kabir tells them that before he was born, the Russians attacked this part of Afghanistan. According to the local people of the area, during that time, a star fell from the sky and landed here. After being prisoners of the Russians for 9 years in their own land, the people took a stand against them and armed themselves. During this time, many people used to go missing, and many dead bodies were found torn into pieces. One night, Kabir's father also went missing, and he was nowhere to be found. The Russians went away from this area without a reason all of a sudden. The next morning comes, and they decide to move out of the container. They make a formation and get out of the container. As they come out, they see that everything around them was destroyed. No dead bodies were left behind by the monsters, and there was no person alive to be found there. They find the body of a dead monster and take it to the medical tent, where Wilkes decides to examine the monster's body. As Wilkes starts to examine the monster's body, he cuts it open only to find out that the monster's body has all the organs similar to a human body. This was really weird for them. They got really confused as they had no idea about what was going on. They also discover that the monsters cannot come out in the sunlight. As soon as sunlight falls upon them, their body starts to burn. Major Finch gets up and tells everyone that the intelligence had their eye on this place for a while now, as Sinclair brought the small camera with pictures, which Finch shared with the intelligence. He says that an alien spaceship had crashed near the Hindu Kush Mountains, which the locals thought was a falling star. The Russians attacked Afghanistan to get the ship and use alien technology to improve Russian warfare technology. During this time, the Russians had managed to develop a process to combine human DNA with alien DNA. This is how they made these monsters, and when the monsters got out of control, the Russians closed the entire project. They then left Afghanistan with the aliens trapped in the bunker. He then tells them that last night was not enough for the monsters, and that tonight they will attack with an entire army. They will try to kill every one of us. As Finch is telling them this, the monster they had brought to examine gets up and starts to attack them. The monster grabs Sinclair by her throat using its tongue. Finch grabs a grenade and jumps up on the monster. When the grenade goes off, the monster, along with Finch, gets blown up. The remaining people gather up their supplies and discover that they do not have much fuel to leave this place. They then decide to attack the monsters inside the bunker and kill them all. Wilkes is the only one who stays outside in the car. The rest of them move inside the bunker to kill the monsters. As they're standing next to the stars, one of the monsters comes and pulls Hook down. Hook communicates with the rest of them through his walkie-talkie, and the monster has not yet killed him, so they decide to go and get him back. They use a tow rope from a truck to get a lift down in the bunker where the monsters and Hook were. As they open the lift, the monsters start to attack them from all around. They have enough gunpowder to sustain the monster's attack, and eventually they're able to get Hook out of there. All of them get back to life, and one of the soldiers stays back to stop the monsters from getting near the lift. One of the soldiers comes inside the bunker and tells them that the intelligence is going to blow up the entire area in 15 minutes. They were going to do this to destroy all the monsters, as they could not take any kind of risk. Now they had to get out of there as soon as possible to save their lives. Back outside, Wilkes is attacked by the terrorists. He fights them bravely. Inside, the monsters are getting very difficult to control, so one of the soldiers manages to set a huge explosion. The explosion results in killing many of the monsters. Hook looks towards Jade and sees that one of the monsters has attacked her and has managed to kill her. Hook hides in a container to avoid the explosion. The explosion has killed many monsters, but not all of them have died. The downside to the explosion is that the lift is now stuck here and it is not moving upwards. Wilkes manages to kill the terrorists, and then he sees that the car has started to move toward the bunker due to the explosion. Wilkes runs in front of the car and tries to stop it from moving by pushing it. More terrorists come, and they manage to grab Wilkes. Back inside, one of the monsters also kills Dave, and now very less time is left before the intelligence attacks the area. One of the monsters grabs Kabir, and as he struggles to get himself free from it, he sees that the monster had the same watch on its wrist as his father had when he went missing. Kabir's father was one of the people upon whom the Russians had done the experiment, and this monster was actually Kabir's father. Kabir looks up and sees that the car is about to fall on top of the lift. He shouts and tells Sinclair to get out of the lift. As soon as Sinclair gets out of the lift, the car falls, killing a few of the monsters as well as Kabir. Sinclair sees that Hook is still alive, and they both manage to come up to the bunker's door. Outside, we see the terrorists have caught Wilkes, and as they're about to slaughter him, Hook, along with Sinclair, shoot and kill all the terrorists. The three of them get in a car and start to move as far away from this place as they possibly could, to save themselves, as the intelligence was about to blow the entire place up. As soon as they get to a distance, a bomb is dropped, and a huge explosion blows everything up. In the end, we see that the three of them have survived, and Sinclair still has the small camera with her. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.